Hello arcade gamers, and welcome back to BiggyD's Arcade. Today we're going to do our 15th episode of Chill and Chat, and I'm going to continue with the live streaming. I just think it's probably the best way to do these Chill and Chats. It is more engaging, allows the audience to take part in the show, which is what I really enjoy. But we got a lot of topics today. I wanted to just start with thanking Console Kids for having me on last weekend. That was only my second time to be on a major show like that. I was on Super Game Room Dudes a couple of months ago, but I got the opportunity to be on Console Kits last week, and I took it immediately as soon as I was asked. I always want to be on the big shows, you know, where I can be heard and be seen to a mass audience. So I really appreciate Console Kits for having me on. It was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Let's go ahead and say hi to everyone in the chat that's made it today. It looks like Nerd Lounge Master 84 is here. Good to see you. Headshake TV, Raven SPE, Andy's Game Room, Headshake TV, JR. Let's see, Garage Gamer, the Garage Gamer. Good to see you, man. I'm glad you made it. Papa Brad's Gaming is in. Good to see you, man. And Goofyfoot, good to see you, Goofyfoot. Glad you made it. And Feral Inferno made it as well. So good to see you guys. Glad you made it today. But so on Friday, I did just like a short video where I was just kind of like getting the anticipation going, getting everyone ready for this live stream that Arcade Went Up was going to do on Friday at 4 o'clock my time. I think it was 6 p.m. Eastern. And everything was on track. The thumbnail was made, the listing was made on their YouTube official channel, and everything was ready to go. And then last minute, they just pulled it. Like, no one knows why. No one ever heard, you know, the reasoning behind why they pulled it last minute. But it was a big inconvenience for a lot of people out there because many had, you know, made their schedules around this live stream. Some people took off work. You know, so it really disrupted a lot of people's lives by doing that, especially your fans, like your true fans that really care about your product, you know, and it's unfortunate it happened that way. But I wanted to start with that. So, you know, I got some other subjects here that I'll be covering on the Chill and Chat, but we're going to mainly be on this subject because it just happened on Friday. Looks like Papa Brad here had said, I only had 7 hit videos made on me this weekend by Arcade Went Up fanboys, Raven, SPE, slow week. So yeah, not going to comment on that, Papa Brad. I try to stay out of that stuff. I may comment on like a live stream or, you know, in the comment section on a video, but on my channel, I try to stay out of that stuff and, you know, not bring that up here. But I appreciate you, you know, putting your opinion out there on what you think's happening. I appreciate that. And Raven projecting the insecurities, and Feral Inferno. This is my first time I noticed you have a lamp on the arcade stool. Good idea. Yeah, so I did that when I moved here. I put the lamp right on the stool, and it just works out perfectly. So if you ever need a second use for your stools, that's a good one. But let's go ahead and get into this Arcade Went Up live stream. So what happened was on Friday at 4 o'clock, they had made this thumbnail that we're seeing right here. Just showing that, you know, it was going to be at 6 p.m. and it was called the Arcade One Update. That's the name they gave it, which I thought was a pretty cool name. I was looking forward to it. And they were advertising this as a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 online update. So as we know, for the last 3 to 4 months, everyone has been begging Arcade Went Up to finish this online capability. It's a lot of the reason why people bought the cabinet in the first place. You know, many already had the Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet. They didn't need the Marvel vs. Capcom 2, except for that one title. And so there are people that even upgraded that didn't even need to, that have been sitting on a cabinet now for 2 to 3 months without being able to play online. So, you know, everyone was wanting to hear about this. It was a lot of anticipation. And it was supposed to start last Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Topic was Marvel vs. Capcom 2 online update. And no company response from the YouTube channel or social media after they pulled it. So they backed out at the very last second, and they didn't provide any information, any news on what's happening. Just kind of left us all in the dark on that. So, you know, I guess the way I feel about it is that I feel like it was unprofessional. It wasn't done, you know, professionally in any way. And it was a big disappointment. That's how I feel about it. And that's what I've been saying in the comments this week. But let's see what others out there have felt about this last minute, you know, pulling and backing out of the live stream by Arcade One Up on Friday. Andy's Game Room, he says, yeah, them canceling, and now apparently Travis has quit. Arcade One Up on their own worst enemy. They need marketing and communication team desperately. So yes, I've also heard that too about Travis quitting, and I've got something lined up here in the Chillin' Chat today we're going to go over, which is actually that exact topic. So I was a little bit ahead of you on that one, but I've also been seeing it in the Reddit and Facebook groups today as well. So it is a topic that everyone's interested in. What happened to Travis? Where is Travis? You know, has he quit? So we'll get into that. And Raven said, that's unfortunate. And Nerd Lounge Master 84 says, has Travis posted or something? And yes, he has posted, and I'm going to go through that here in just a second. So the ambassador. So this is the Arcade One Up ambassador. They're supposed to be like the middleman between Arcade One Up and the customer base, which is us. The person that we go to for information, the person we rely on to get information from the company to us. And he took on this responsibility. Supposedly he took it on with, you know, no financial, you know, no money made, basically. He was doing it pro bono or for no money at all. And I guess he was doing it because he enjoys YouTube. He's got a large channel. I went back and looked at some of the older YouTube streams by Steven at Game Time. And it looks like a couple of years ago, Travis MCP, I don't want to get that wrong, MCP was involved in those live streams like 2 or 3 years ago with Cool Toy and Glenn and Steven. So he goes way back in the Arcade One Up community. He's just kind of behind the scenes. I think he's more of like a producer slash like director type person. He will be on screen, but that's not his number one goal. He wants to kind of, you know, move things along and be the one person that takes care of everything basically and make sure things get done. So I thought he was the person for the job. I was expecting him to do a really good job with this. And let's get into that. So this was his first post since taking on this responsibility. It was shortly after the YouTube live stream was pulled on Friday. He made this post on his Twitter that says, "Till next time." I think that's Lady Gaga waving at everybody. So, you know, Super Game Room dudes, they had said, well, there was never a first time, and that's a pretty good point. You know, a little more communication on your first, you know, try at this would have been beneficial, would have helped, you know, and to just get this Twitter post till next time was, you know, it didn't make any matters any better. But let's see here what some of the audience is saying on this. Goofyfoot, One Up just needs to stay away from social media. They could do that. So they could completely stay away from social media and just do their updates through their website. You know, have like a community area where they can put news and posts and things like that, and just do it all in, you know, writing. Don't even have a live stream. Don't even, you know, have a face of the company. Just do it in writing every week or every month. But at least get us something, you know. Saying nothing is what I think bothers people the most. And then Garage Gamer says, One Up already does stay away from social media, laughing out loud. That's a pretty good point, Garage Gamer. He is right on that. I mean, they'll go months without updating something on their YouTube channel. And then sometimes they'll update like Twitter and Facebook, but a lot of the times it's stuff that's not relevant to us. And it's like short clips on TikTok and things like that. So it doesn't really help. Papa Brad Gaming, Arcade One Up needs to tell their Goon Squad to chill. So I'm not sure what he's referring to on that. And Goofyfoot saying the Garage Gamer. And it looks like Firestarter Entertainment has joined us as well today. Good to see you, Firestarter. Glad you made it. And so on Saturday, this is the day after, so he's had a night to sleep on it as the ambassador of Arcade Went Up. And he made this posting on Twitter on Saturday. My tech tuber friends would be mortified to know how I'm helping a company without compensation, only to be left out in the dry with their community. Never again. So I think that kind of set it off, and that was like why everyone thinks he quit, or maybe he's given confirmation that he has quit after this Twitter post. I'm not sure, but it definitely sounds like right there he's already given up and that he's not planning on ever working with Arcade Went Up again. So it sounds like he was done wrong as well. This had absolutely nothing to do with Travis. It seems like the company kind of bailed on him as well, making him look bad. So I kind of feel for him in this situation, because it's a lot of this is going to fall on his shoulders when really it was out of his hands. It wasn't in his control. But Nerd Lounge Master, he said they need one brand ambassador and let them do their job without company direction. So they need one brand ambassador and let them do their job without the direction of the company. Yeah, they could do that. You know, just hand it over to someone and just say, hey, we trust you with this. We know you have experience in, you know, YouTube live streams, and we can trust you with this, and just hand it over and let them handle it all, you know, and maybe just go through them for certain things, but, you know, leave it on the ambassador to create the content and be able to do live streams and create live streams on their own when they want to, rather than having to have everything go through the company before the ambassador can do anything. So that's kind of how I feel about it, guys. Not going to go much longer on this subject because it is what it is. I'm still a fan of Arcade Went Up. I'm still really excited about what they're going to have coming out here in the near future. I'm also very excited for Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and getting that cabinet online. And I think those things are going to happen. There's online capability is going to come. It's just a matter of time, it sounds like, unless they say otherwise. And then also there are going to be new cabinets coming out in the future. That's, you know, this isn't going to completely shut their doors and they're going to quit making cabinets. So this will blow over. We'll give it another couple weeks, and we probably won't even be discussing this anymore. They would have already given us some information. We'll move on. But it is a low point in the company. It is a low point for the community because we weren't treated very well. And I think everyone kind of feels that way. Everyone has a mutual feeling of being left out or not being communicated to properly. So next I'm going to move on to Ninja Baseball Batman. So this is a high point of the week. You know, we had all these negative things with Arcade Went Up, but we've had a lot of positive things happen on the iiRcade front. They finally released Ninja Baseball Batman on Friday, and the reviews are coming in. The reviews are really good. It does have online capability. You can play with your friends, but it's only 2-player online, but they are working on 4-player online, so that's coming. And let's go ahead and go to this next slide that I have made for this. So my question is going to be, and this is a question to the audience as well, is Ninja Baseball Batman a 10 out of 10? Because most of the reviews that I've been seeing are 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I haven't seen anything lower than that. I haven't seen many problems at all with the game. There's been some stuttering and things at the end of the game, or maybe between levels, I've heard, but it's just limited to those points in the game. The actual gameplay itself runs incredibly smooth, much better than the CoinOps version, and you have the ability to play online. So you're getting all these extras, and you're getting the streamlined gameplay where everything's going to run the way it should and be a more authentic experience to the original arcade. So let's see what you guys have to say. If anyone out there has played Ninja Baseball Batman, let us know what you think your rating is for the game. So Papa Brad's Gaming said it is a 9 out of 10. So we know he's all about iiRcade, and he probably would give it a 10 out of 10, but you know, he gave us 9 out of 10. So I'm gonna go with that. It may not be 10 out of 10. It may be right up there though. Raven is a 9 out of 10. He's saying nothing is perfect. Yeah, so exactly. I mean, even if, you know, they get everything right, you know, there's always, especially when a game is first released and they have the ability to update it later, you know, there's going to be little things that are going to happen, little stutters. frame drops, things like that could happen. But they got most of that worked out already before the game was released, and now they just have to fine tune it. And but 9 out of 10 right out the gate, that's incredible. JR, you can play Ninja Baseball Batman 4-player on the ALU with the 4-player game deck. Yeah, and that's absolutely true. If you get that 4-player game deck on the ALU, you could do that, but it's local. Maybe you can do it through LAN, not sure. But as far as online gameplay with an online interface and everything like iiRcade has, that's going to be the appeal to 4-player online, I believe, is to be able to play online. And then Papa Brad says the stuttering at the ending. So yeah, there's a little bit of stuttering at the end of the game, but that may have fallen through the cracks at the very end of right before the release. Maybe they missed that part, but everything up until that looks and sounds good and plays good. Brooklyn is saying a 9 out of 10. So everyone's pretty much agreeing on that rating. Bad guy Mike Worley is giving it a 10 out of 10. And Garage Gamer says he just played MLB The Show. So I'm not sure if Garage Gamer has an iiRcade yet, but maybe he can let us know. But Goofyfoot says it's the best version to date. So this is the one that he's liked the most. I guess he's played it probably on the ALU and other ways of playing it, other than the original arcade. Because it's very difficult to play the original arcade. There's only 50 or so units in the United States. So it's very difficult to actually play the actual arcade. But if you want to play something as close to the arcade as possible, it's going to be this iiRcade version. So it got me thinking, with the success of Ninja Baseball Batman, what skin are we going to get next? I've been watching Game Days, and last week Michael had said that kind of hinted at, he didn't say, but he kind of hinted at possibly some new skinned cabs coming in the near future. And then I was watching the Friday night iiRcade show, and Michael was in there and he hinted at it again. So I definitely think we're going to be getting some new skins here in the very near future for iiRcade. And I think Ninja Baseball Batman is up at the top of that list for a new skin. And what I would like to see, they'll probably end up doing the gold. But if they could somehow, make a 4-player cabinet for the iiRcade, this game would be perfect for that. So maybe we'll see a 4-player version of the iiRcade in the future, or maybe they'll just continue with the gold lineup and just skin it with the gold. However, I did find out there is a 2-player version of Ninja Baseball Batman, I believe, out there. And maybe someone can correct me on that, but I believe there were produced 2-player Ninja Baseball Batman cabinets. So even with the gold cabinet and only having 2 players, it'll still look and play authentic to that version of the cabinet if that was indeed released at one point. And Garage Gamer says, no, I don't have an iiRcade yet. So I don't have one yet personally either. I've purchased one. I'm going to get mine on the 3rd of March. So less than a month, about 3.5 weeks, I'll be on my iiRcade, ready to start gaming. Papa Brad says it is free on @Games. That is the only benefit to play it there. Yeah, so you get it on the coin ops. You don't have to pay the $15, but you don't have the ability to play online. And I've heard it's not as smooth. The gameplay is not as good on the coin ops version. And Raven says, given how rare the cab are, I wonder if Ninja Baseball Batman iiRcade cab would sell. And yeah, that's a very good question. I'd also thought the same thing. What appeal is this going to have to a mass audience out there that are considering getting an iiRcade? And I think that's going to be the artwork. Even if you've never seen this cabinet before, or you've never seen this game before, I think people are going to be drawn to this one because of the artwork is so good. I'm a graphic designer, so I can actually see in an artwork scheme like this, was it done well? And does it look good? And it appeals to me, to my eye. And I think it does to many others out there as well. You can let us know, do you think this one's ugly? Or do you like this cabinet design? Do you like this artwork? It also has a lot of calls back to like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, with the 4 characters all having different bright, vibrant color schemes. So I think that goes along with it as well. Is if you like Ninja Turtles, you're probably going to like this because it's very similar in that way. And Farrell Inferno said, I'd be down for a Ninja Baseball Batman cabinet. So there's, Farrell, I don't think you have an iiRcade yet. Maybe you can tell us. But so he's liking it as well. And Third Floor Arcade with Jason made it. Good to see you, man. I always enjoy your videos and your tours of your arcade. It looks great. He said, I would sell my Retromania iiRcade for a Vigilante skinned iiRcade. So that's another big game, Vigilante. I mean, really, iiRcade could do a skin for every IRM game, and they would be just fine with that. They could do the Ninja Baseball Batman, they could do the Vigilante, they could do the R-Type, and they could do all of them, and they would sell because IRM's a big name. It's a big developer. So you can't go wrong with those games. Like when they did the Dead Cells and some of those smaller games like that, I wasn't particularly drawn to those cabinets. I'm more drawn to the nostalgia and the original authentic look of an arcade that existed in the past. That's what I'm drawn to, but everyone's different. The Garage Gamer says artwork looks good. So he's on that. He likes that artwork. And Chris has made it. He says, hello, everyone. Good to see you. Glad you made it. And let's see here. Farrell Inferno said, no iiRcade for me yet. Need better looking cabs like this. So there you go. So yeah, I'm with you there. If I had to buy an iiRcade Gold right now, I bought the Retromania. But if I was to get a Gold, there's only two available, the Dead Cells and the Space Invaders. I would be okay with Space Invaders, but I would be much more quickly or more ready to purchase if they had this cabinet. So I also started looking as well, skinned kits. Can you get a kit out there and just skin your iiRcade you currently have? And it looks like Sabo's Arcade has some skins for the Ninja Baseball Batman, but I didn't find one for the iiRcade. I didn't really dig really deep into his website looking for one though, so maybe someone out there could find one that he's selling out there, but I did find this one. So he does make Ninja Baseball Batman skins. It's a question of, can he make this skin for the iiRcade Gold or the Standard Edition? Because I think people would purchase it. And Papa Brad's saying the iiRcade community is very friendly and open. I agree, absolutely is. I've always had a good experience with the guys that play iiRcade in the community. And here's the link, guys, for Sabo's Arcade. If you're watching the replay or you're in the live stream and you want to check this out, he also has many other products out there, marquees, skins, mods, all kinds of stuff. Actually, he doesn't do mods. I think he just does artwork only. So go check him out. He's got lots of good stuff to buy. So next we're going to go through Operation Wolf. So I've been monitoring the Operation Wolf, very closely. I'm highly anticipating this game. It was one of the games that I played a lot growing up. It's one of the games that I remember very well in the arcade. I played it a ton. It was one of my favorites. And so I've been happy when iiRcade got it, but it's been a long time now since it was announced. I think I started my channel around the time that they announced Operation Wolf. That's how long it's been. So I think we're getting to the finish line though, guys. I think we're finally getting to this point where we can play it. And this is what we got this week. We got within weeks. So the game days this week, well, let's see, the week before it was in the final step. This week it was within weeks. And then he also said, it's not the final step, it's now the final step. So he's put an emphasis on that we're very close. And this was last week. So maybe next week or the week after, this game's going to be released. And all you're going to need is a send-in light gun and a gold cabinet to be able to play it. So with me, with the standard cabinet, unfortunately, I'm not going to get the opportunity to play this game. But many out there are. And I've been heavily shopping the gold cabinets myself. And if they could just do like $100 price drop, I would probably get one and just have a standard and a gold, have two iiRcades. But it started getting me thinking on a skin as well. What skin are we going to get next? You know, we just went over Ninja Baseball Batman. Any of the iRoom titles would make really good skins for the next iiRcade. And it looks like PD7's joined us. Good to see you, PD7. I'm glad you made it. And so I started looking at these Operation Wolf cabinets and what they used to look like back in the day. And, you know, they could do the artwork on the gold or the standard. They could do the marquee on the gold. And then, of course, they don't do coin doors. He did say in the game days that they are not in the business of doing coin doors. They are going to stick with what they've been doing, which is doing artwork on the kick plate. And then I had asked him a question about the mounted guns, and he said that they wouldn't do that. It's going to be the send-in gun with the USB, wired USB. But he did mention that, you know, third-party companies may come into play and may be making guns or swappable control decks with mounted guns. He said that is possible. So maybe we'll get a third-party attachment or a third-party mod where you could essentially just take the game deck out, put another game deck in there, and it would have a mounted Uzi where you could play it in that way. I think it'll be fun either way. If you're standing way back and you have the ability to move the gun, that's going to be fun. But if you also have the option to mount it and it look like a real Uzi, I think a lot of people out there would be wanting to buy something like that. And Brooklyn Menace said he expects a Moon Patrol, Operation Wolf, Ninja Baseball Batman skin by the end of the year. Yeah, those are all very good picks right there. And Moon Patrol is one of the best looking cabinets that they could do. Operation Wolf, Ninja Baseball Batman, all solid choices. Maybe throw one more in there, and who knows what that would be. Maybe R-Type. We'll see. And then Operation Wolf. So, you know, if you were looking at the gold cab and you were looking at it and they had an Operation Wolf skin cabinet, that's kind of like I found this picture. It kind of would look like this, right? You would have that Operation Wolf marquee right there above the screen. And, you know, your send-in light gun isn't going to look like an Uzi, but maybe they would get some other guns in the future that look more like the real thing. And then here's kind of just a picture of the game deck of an Operation Wolf with the mounted gun. So maybe we could get an attachment or a modification that would fit right into the gold cabinet that would look something similar to this. But if they just go with this artwork on the game deck, that'll look good as well. But this is definitely this one here, Operation Wolf, and the Ninja Baseball Batman. Let's see here. This one here. So it'd be this one and this one, I think, are your two locks for new skins on an iiRcade coming up in the future. You guys let me know if you think I'm off on that. And the next subject I wanted to cover is going to be the PlayStation 5 VR2 headset. I had actually purchased my PS5 a few months ago, so I've been heavily invested in researching this product and seeing what it's all about. And everything I've been seeing is great. It's got an OLED display. It's actually, from what I've been reading, is worth way more than what we're paying. Many out there think the $550, $600 price tag is kind of high, but in reality, they may actually be selling these at a loss. So it may, you know, be just like the PS5, where you're getting a ton of hardware at a low cost because they're in hopes of you buying the games. That's where they're going to make their money, is in the games lineup. So I'm looking forward to this one. And it's going to release on February 22nd, 2023. So we're now less than 3 weeks away from the release of this VR2 headset. And before the live stream on Friday, I was looking at the MVC2 cabinet, and I was trying to decide, am I going to get MVC2 or am I going to get a PS VR2 headset? Those were my two choices because I only have so much money to spend, right? And after Friday, I'm decided. I'm 100% decided. I'm just going to get this thing at launch, and hopefully it doesn't make me sick. Hopefully it doesn't make me nauseous, because that would be a real bummer. You know, you spend all this money and then find out it's not for you. And unfortunately, you can only buy it through PlayStation Direct. So if I have a problem with it, it's probably not going to be very easy to return. I may just have to sell it. So I'm preparing for it may not work out because in some people they can't do VR, and I don't have any experience in VR, so I'll find out. And Brooklyn said, don't expect them to be arcade copies though, because iiRcade always does custom artwork. Yeah, so they're going to have to customize it some to make it fit, and then obviously too, they probably want to make it their own. And Raven says PSVR 2 is looking really good. I want something for PC though. So yeah, a lot of people have their PCs, their gaming PCs that they've invested a lot of money in, and they're souped up with their graphics cards, and you know they want to take advantage of that. So this PSVR 2 headset may not be for everyone. However, I don't have like the greatest gaming PC. I do have a gaming PC, but it's not the greatest. Actually, I think my PS5 is probably a little more powerful than my PC. So I'm going to be going with it on PlayStation. But also, these are going to be the games that I'm looking forward to. If anyone out there is looking to purchase one of these, maybe you guys have some games that you're interested in getting. But these are going to be the ones that I'm eyeing and that are on my radar for the 22nd when I get my headset. Gran Turismo 7. So this is like their marquee game for the headset. They also have another one, bundle as well, where you can get the Forbidden West or whatever that game is. I have not played that one, so I don't have much experience with it. But there's really two marquee games. There's that Forbidden game, and then there's the Gran Turismo. And I'm leaning more Gran Turismo. That'll be the one I go with for the driving simulation. And I work with a guy who invests a lot of money into these driving simulation type setups. And he has said that what I'm going to need to get is a rumble chair and a steering wheel with the feedback. So he goes, you get the setup with the headset, you get the steering wheel, you get the rumble chair. He's like, man, you're going to feel like you're really in a car. So this is like at the top of my list for games that I want to play once I get my VR setup going. And Garage Gamer says the kayak game looks really good. Yeah, and I completely agree. I saw that kayak game. It almost made my top 3 list, actually, because I like outdoor stuff. You guys might not know that about me, but I do a lot of hiking and outdoors on my free time. So that kayak game had a lot of appeal to me. And then Atrian Fanatic made it. He said, hey, man, finally caught you live. Yep, I think this may be the first time you made it on a live stream. I'm happy you did. And hope you enjoy it, and comment as much as you want. I'm putting them up on the screen throughout the show, guys. All right, so the second game that I'm going to be getting is the Resident Evil 4. So I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. I love these games. I've played them all. And they do have a Resident Evil 4 VR. Now, this is not the new Resident Evil 4 that's about to come out. I believe this is the old Resident Evil 4 that came out on the GameCube and then was remastered, and it's that version. But it is in VR, so I'm really excited to play that. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Anything Resident Evil, I'm all about it. And Brooklyn Menace says he's 100% getting GT7 before his PSVR 2 shows up. So he's going to go out and he's going to get the game before it even shows up. That's probably a smart move, because if it's hard to find the game, you're going to be in a predicament. So if you get ahead of it and get the game before that happens, you don't have to worry about that. And Raven says, get the racing seat with the sound shakers and VR. Damn. Yeah, so that's the setup. And that's eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the whole seat with the steering wheel and everything. It's going to be a real true simulation of feeling like you're in a race in a car. Donovan says, glad to see you on another live stream. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing very good, Donovan. I hope you are as well. Glad you made it. And Atran says, thanks for the welcome, man. Yeah, I still love this weather in the Phoenix Valley. So yeah, he lives in the same area I do, and the weather has just been fantastic these last few days. It's like almost 80 degrees, no clouds, sun. Just couldn't ask for better weather right now. And bad guy Mike Worley says Resident Evil 4 in VR is amazing. So it's the VR version of Resident Evil 4 has been out. You can play it on Oculus, I believe, So if you're wanting to check that game out, you can do that. It's available. I've not played it. I've not owned a VR headset yet. This will be my first one, so that'll be one of the first games I get a chance to play. And the Garage Gamer says it is Resident Evil Village in VR. So yes, I did see that as well, Garage Gamer. There is a Village VR as well, but I probably won't run out and get both. I'll probably get 4, beat that, and then maybe go out and get Village later on. Third Floor Arcade with Jason says Resident Evil would be great on there. Yeah, with the gun and the story and those zombies, they're just scary in general. Having them pop out at you in VR would be a lot of fun, I feel like. And Brooklyn says it's already out for MetaQuest through PC and it's incredible, but with the added things in PSVR 2 like vibration and 4K, it's going to be even better. So my next game, and this, you probably saw this on my thumbnail, but this is a game that I just started thinking about in the last day or two, and I found it. I didn't even know anything about it. This is another title you can play on other headsets as well. It's Star Wars Tales from Galaxy's Edge. So this is kind of like a spin-off of Star Wars, and it looks really cool. I'm about anything Star Wars, so they got me sold just with the name. And the Garage Gamer is asking what my username is. My username is BiggggyD. So when I got my PlayStation 3, I got it right when PlayStation Network first started, really. So I got a really good username. If anyone wants to add me, that's my username right there, BiggggyD. So let's take a look at this here.
Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition is an action-adventure VR experience that gives you the opportunity to team up with some classic Star Wars characters and go on some adventures of your own through the wilds of Batuu. You'll be able to meet and interact with new characters like Doc Ondar, who you're able to visit in the Star Wars parks right now. But you'll also be able to interact with classic Star Wars characters like R2-D2, C-3PO, and even Jedi Master Yoda. When the game releases as a launch title exclusively on PlayStation VR 2, it will be released as the complete experience, meaning that players will be able to play through the full story and all 3 tales from start to finish without any additional DLC. What we've done is we've taken Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge and we've rebuilt it to fully utilize all the new features that PlayStation VR 2 has to offer. This new hardware allowed us to utilize the high visual fidelity capabilities that the PlayStation 5 is known for. The game includes smooth frame rates, eye tracking, advanced foveated rendering techniques, and more to really bring the Star Wars galaxy to life. To really feel the gameplay and story, we've also implemented the advanced haptic systems that are found in the headset and PSVR 2 Sense controllers. These make it so that whenever a player picks up a blaster or a lightsaber, it feels and interacts the way that they would expect it to, and further immerses the player in the Star Wars universe. Players will also be surrounded by dynamic soundscapes and rich 3D audio, which we worked with Skywalker Sound to create. It's this special blend of accessibility settings, immersion, and storytelling that creates a Star Wars experience that all fans can enjoy. Combined together, all these features and more will bring fans into a galaxy far, far away in an even more immersive way as they live out their own action-packed Star Wars story on PlayStation VR 2.
So that's one that I'm really looking forward to right there, guys. So those are going to be my 3 games that I get. I'm going to buy 3 games at the initial launch. I'm going to get the Gran Turismo, I'm going to get the Star Wars, and I'm going to get the that second one that I had just gone over with you, Resident Evil 4. So I'm looking forward to those 3, and then eventually I'll get Resident Evil Village, but I want to beat 4 first. And I had a question there in the chat on how long it takes typically to beat a Resident Evil game. So I'll get them and I'll just play it through within about 2 days. So probably about like 15 hours typically, but every game's a little different, but I haven't had one take me, like Village, the most recent one, I beat within probably like 8 hours. It was quick. And that was one of the reasons I didn't like Village that much, is it was such a short game. So it could be less time than that even. But the Star Wars looks really cool. So let's see what everyone thought about that one. On I saw Brooklyn, he had said here, Biggie, make sure to get the Switchback when it comes out. It's going to blow your mind and scare the crap out of you. And Atran said, also just a note, he lives in Mesa as well. So Atran, we'll have to meet up sometime. I've met up with P-Dubs at the he actually came over and went to an arcade. So if you're down to go to the arcade sometime, let me know. And Brooklyn said he almost beat the expansion, but lost his save. So that's another cool thing about the VR2 version of this Star Wars. You're going to get all the expansions with it. You don't have to pay extra. It comes all in one package. And Donovan said here, he goes, this looks like a good time, even if it is a short playthrough. And Raven says, graphically beautiful for a VR game. So he's thinking that Star Wars looks really good. I think so too. And anything Star Wars, I'm all about it. So I'm looking forward to playing that one. So let's look at some of the other VR2 games. And these are going to be every PSVR2 game confirmed for launch and beyond. So if you guys had other questions on some other games, let's go through those. So it looks like you're going to get a VR Football Unleashed All-Star game. After the fall, they're saying this is a free upgrade. So if you already have that game, you can just play it for free in VR. And then Alter Breaker, not heard of that one. Beat Saber, not heard of this one. Behemoth, not heard of that one. Before Your Eyes. Cities VR Enhanced Edition. So this is looks like a Sims type game. Cosmonos High, not heard of that. The Dark Pictures Switchback VR. So this is the one that Brooklyn was just mentioning. You got to get Switchback. I believe this is the one he was mentioning. And this one I was drawn to because of the zombies and it being very Resident Evil-like, it looks like. So this is another one that I'll be interested in playing. But I may not run out and get that one. I'll probably get the Resident Evil for the title and just the name recognition. I've not heard of this one before, so may get this one later on. Creed, Rise to Glory. So if you like the boxing games, they're going to have this one. Crossfire, Sierra Squad. Looks like kind of like a first-person shooter, maybe. Mio, free upgrade. If you already have that one, you can go ahead and play it on VR for free. Do Not Open. So it looks like another survival horror game. And I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Chronos Alternate. And Fantavision 202X. This looks really colorful, vibrant game. Firewall Ultra. Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord. So this is one that I was researching a little bit. I do love Ghostbusters. So I may end up having to get this one eventually, but I'm not going to have the money to get them all. So I'm going to have to pick and choose what I want. But this is Gran Turismo 7. This is a for sure game I have to get. Hello Neighbor, Search and Rescue, free upgrade. Horizon Call of the Mountain. I couldn't remember the name earlier. That's it right there. Horizon Call of the Mountain. This is their other marquee launch title. You can actually get it in a bundle with the headset if you like the Horizon games. I've never played them. I may like them, so I'll have to give those Horizon games a chance. And then Jurassic World Aftermath Collection. This looks interesting. This is that kayak game that the Garage Gamer was mentioning right here. Looks really cool. It looks like you're going to kayak down some rivers. And I think they're using like real rivers, real lakes. So everything should look almost like it does in real life, hopefully. And Kizuna, Touch the Beat, like a dancing game. The Last Clockwinder, The Last Worker, The Light Barrage, free upgrade. Lo-Fi, Moss plus Moss Book 2, NFL Pro Era, a football game. I had saw Nostalgia did kind of like a short video or a short, just kind of giving us some information on this game during a Super Game Room Dudes episode. He really likes this game a lot, so it may be worth checking out. No Man's Sky, free upgrade. And Pal Love VR. Puzzling Places. Pistol Whip, free upgrade. Resident Evil 4, that's the one I'm going to get. Resident Evil Village, that's one Garage Gamer was mentioning that I will probably get later on, but I want to beat this one first. Res Infinite, Runner, Song in the Smoke Rekindled. Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition. So this is the one that I want to get right here. Star Wars fans won't want to miss out on Tales of the Galaxy Edge, which lets you play as a droid repair technician on the remote planet Batuu. While the standard game is already available on other headsets, the Enhanced Edition will bring eye tracking, headset feedback, and haptic feedback to the PSVR 2. So we're going to get a more immersive experience. I'm not sure what this eye tracking is. That's something I'm going to have to look up after the show. And maybe next week we can figure out what this eye tracking is. That sounds pretty cool, whatever that is. Swordsman VR, Smith Riders Remastered Edition, The Tale of Onagoro, Tentacular, Tetris Effect Connected, Thumper, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2, What the Bat, X8, Zenith The Last City Free Upgrade, and Zombieland Headshot Fever Reloaded. So as you guys can see, they've got a huge lineup for the launch already. Tons of games to choose from. Some of these you may already own. Some are games you may be interested in or have been interested in playing elsewhere, but they're going to be on the PSVR 2. So I'm really looking forward to this, and we're here within just a few weeks of the release, and I'm going to be wanting to cover this and do content on it. I'm not sure how I'm going to do a live stream with a VR2 headset, but I'm going to be looking into that. And let's see what everyone else has said here. Garage Gamer says Forbidden West is okay. He was like 30 hours in and he stopped playing. So it's a long game. I don't know if the VR games are going to be like that. I don't know if they're going to be super long because people aren't going to be wanting to wear the headsets for hours on end. So I'm predicting these games are going to be shorter, more fun, just casual games to play. Or I'm hoping. I wouldn't want to wear a headset for too long. And Brooklyn Menace says Moss is so good, you'll never want to leave that world. And then Raven says Swordsman VR. He's looking forward to that one. And Garage Gamer says the Tetris Effect on Xbox. He has Tetris Effects on Xbox. So you can probably let us know, would that be a title you'd want to play in VR? I think anything really colorful, neon looking, things like that are going to be pretty cool in VR. And Papa Brad's Gaming says, I have not turned on my PS4 in 2 months. I turned it on and was all updates everywhere. So yeah, you can actually, I believe, I don't know about the PS4. I know on the PS5 you can put it in sleep mode and it'll do its updates during sleep mode. So whenever you turn it on, it's ready to go. And Raven says he hasn't been on his PS4 in 3 years. But as far as PS4, Papa Brad, I know they're still making games for it, but the PSVR 2 headset will not work for the PS4. You'll have to have the PS5 for it. And Nerd Lounge says, thanks, Papa Brad. I need to power mine on and process 1 million updates. So let's go here on to the closing thoughts. So normally I'll have like 2 or 3 closing thoughts at the end of the show, but today I only had 1. But we're coming up on an hour, so perfect timing. But my closing thought is Killer Instinct. So we had some issues with Killer Instinct this week. I didn't really want to do much content on it because I didn't really have a good grasp on what happened, or I didn't have like confirmed information to go on. So I didn't want to put a video out there and then have to backtrack later, or put a video out there and say something and it'd be wrong. So I just left that subject to Michael B and some of the other guys out there. But evidently there was an update over the week, and it kind of bricked some of the Killer Instinct cabinets, made them unplayable. So I found this today though, and that's why I wanted to move on this subject. So I do a lot of Reddit, scouring Reddit for Arcade 1-Up content, and there's just a lot of discussion. I know we discuss a lot on YouTube in the comments and things like that, but it goes into a lot more detail on Reddit. I mean, people, they're on it. They know what they're talking about. And so I go there and I found this today. And it says Killer Instinct stuck on loading. supposedly Code Mystics has a fix, but I can't seem to figure out what it is. And Code Mystics actually responded to this post. So I knew then I can go with this because it came directly from the developer. But it says, not yet. No, there is a fix. And if you can get to the main menu, but not launch games. So if you're able to power on your Killer Instinct and you can get to the menu system, but you just cannot launch the game, there is a fix that for the Killer Instinct that Code Mystics can give you to fix your cabinet. You don't have to get a new PCB. You don't have to go through Arcade 1Up customer service. You can just go to their Discord channel, which is listed here, which is the #code/mystic/update. Go there on the Discord channel. And I know not everyone's on Discord, so that may not be easy to do, but they do have a fix for you there. And he says it'll probably be a broader announcement when they know what solutions are possible. So they haven't actually officially announced anything yet, but if you're wanting to get a head start and get your cabinet working again, I would look there for that. And it's unfortunate, but it looks like they're trying to find a fix for it. And hopefully they don't make these types of mistakes again in the future. They learn that they can't do something until it's fully tested and they know it's not going to brick the cabinets. But it sounds like they are able to fix some of them out there. But there are some cabinets evidently that are out there that don't boot up at all now. And those are going to require you contacting Arcade 1Up customer service and putting in that claim for probably a new PCB is what I'm guessing. But they should fix it for you. I don't see them not doing that. They seem to replace anything you need well after the warranty expires. And I've got a few more comments here. Papa Brad says, BiggyD is the best of the best. Thanks for streaming. I'm glad I caught you live. I appreciate you joining me. And Nerd Lounge Master 84, he says he has the PSVR 1. And honestly, he plays Meta Quest 2 more. And Atran says it's been almost a year since he fired up his PS4, Xbox One, Fat, 360, and Switch. He's been into retro gaming mostly on his 27-inch CRT. Yeah, I mostly play my arcades or I play my mini consoles on a little, I guess you'd call this a 20-inch television, but it plays the retro games really good. And then I have my PS5 I play and my Switch. And let's see here. Papa Brad says he has Killer Instinct and it is safe to turn it on, laughing out loud. I don't know. You may, if you haven't done the recent update, you may want to wait and see on that. Keep an eye on Code Mystics and what they're about to announce. Maybe worth keeping it off until they get that fixed. Nerd Lounge, nothing wrong with that. Andy's Game Room, it's unfortunate. It sure is. Code Mystics has done so much for the community, so much for Killer Instinct, so much for Arcade 1Up. To have a misstep like this is unfortunate, but I think they, we can give them a little time to get this resolved. They've done so much for us. I don't think we need to run out and pressure them in any way to fix it. They're gonna take care of it. Atran, he says, even though I like the modern gaming, my heart is more with retro and older consoles, especially the ones he grew up with. He's a Generation Xer. So yeah, same with me. I just get that nostalgic feeling and just that the remembrance of those games I used to play. And there's not a feeling that there's no other way to recreate that other than to play these games. And the bad guy, Mike Worley, said they better have a lot of PCBs in stock. And that is true. You better get on it. If yours isn't booting up at all, you better get on it and create your tickets now because once they're out of stock, that could become a huge problem. Get ahead of the game here. And if you watch my live stream, hopefully it's helped you. Atran, BiggyD's Arcade, like I was asking before, do you guys ever meet up at Starfighters Arcade or another one? Yes, I go to Starfighters all the time. I have a contact form on my website where my banner is on my YouTube channel. Upper right, it says athomearcades.com. If you click that, there's a contact form. Just send me your number and we'll meet up. We'll go to Starfighters or wherever you want to go. I do like that arcade a lot. There's another one I like a lot called In-Game Bar and Grill, which has some pretty cool arcades over here in Mesa. And Brooklyn says he's going to connect a capture card through the PS5 to capture footage in VR, but hopefully they enable some internal way to record HD footage. Yeah, that's all going to be interesting to figure out. It's my first VR headset. So, and I just started streaming games like 3 or 4 months ago. So I'd not even had experience live streaming video games till a few months ago. And Donovan, he says it's an unfortunate situation, but he trusts Code Mystics. I'm exactly right there with you, Donovan. I think they're the right people for this, and I do not have, any at all worry that they're not going to be able to fix it. And Atrian says, okay, cool, man. Thanks for the link, and he'll for sure contact me. So yeah, we'll meet up, man. Well, I appreciate everybody that has joined us today for the live stream. We've got console kits coming up here in about 30 minutes. And then we got 19K Fox right after that. So we've got a full night ahead of at-home arcade content and chatter and chat. So I'm looking forward to that. And you guys definitely like the video. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, definitely subscribe. I would appreciate that. And I'll see everyone in the next video. Bye-bye.